gratitude to the City Council for their support and leadership, and our talented staff for all of their efforts and flexibility, dedication to this community as we all work through these challenging and ever-changing conditions. Before we move on, I want to make a couple of introductions. From our City Council, we'll get to Mayor Lowe here in just a minute, but also joining us this evening, we have Council Member Stan Liu, Council Member Nancy Lyons, Council Member Steve Tai, and Mayor Pro Tem Andrew Chow. From our Planning Commission, we have Vice Chair Ken Mock. From the Parks and Recreation Commission, we have Vice Chair Andrew Wong. From the Traffic and Transportation Commission, we have Chair Gary Bastide and Commissioner Raphael Plunkett. We have a couple of other dignitaries here representing U.S. Congresswoman Young Kim, Abigail Flatchman, and representing Supervisor Hilda Solis for County District 1, Andrea Moreno. Also in the back, we have our Diamond Bar Walnut Station Captain Steve Towsey. And from our Los Angeles County Fire Department, we have Assistant Chief Jesse Vela, Battalion Chief Getz, and most of Station 120, if I believe that's correct. And of course, I know we have a lot of other dignitaries in the audience tonight. So if you're an elected official, if you're an appointed official, please stand up to be recognized. And so without further ado, I'm going to ask Mayor Lowe to come on up to the stage. And it's my honor to introduce Mayor Lowe. She was first elected to the City Council in November 2015. She was re-elected to her second term in 2020. This is her second time serving as mayor. And prior to being elected to the City Council, she served on the Planning Commission from 2003 to 2005, the Parks and Recreation Commission from 2005 to 2009, and again on the Planning Commission from 2013 through 2015. So please join me in welcoming Mayor Ruth Lowe.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you for that nice introduction, and thank you everyone for coming to this evening. It's so nice to see familiar faces, friends and neighbors and new friends. I'm really honored that you came out this evening. In addition, I'm honored to be serving as Diamond Bar's mayor this year, and I'm really pleased to be delivering this year's State of the City address. And I'm very excited because I have lots to share, and it's all centered on a very important theme of investing in our future, because I believe that this is a key responsibility of local government. You know, we're all familiar with the statement, local government is the level of government that is closest to the people. And you know what? Over the years, I've learned that's true. Much of what the City Council does and what they're responsible for affects and influences important aspects of our community life, from the condition of the roads that we travel, to the parks that we recreate in, and in the services that we rely on every day. As a member of this community, just like you, and one of your elected officials, I take great pride in the positive transformations our city has undergone over the years. This is due in part to the very disciplined and strategic approach the City Council takes when we make financial decisions, and the very talented and dedicated city staff that knows how to get things done. This fiscal year, we are working with a $31.5 million operating budget and a $9.3 million capital improvement program. It's a responsible spending plan that stretches our dollars and makes investments in the areas and projects with the greatest return and impact. The city continues to make significant investments in our network of sidewalks, streets, and roads. There are a number of projects that in the works aimed at improving road condition, easing traffic, and creating a safer, more comfortable environment for all modes of travel. The most prominent of these projects is the work at the intersection of Grand Avenue and Golden Springs Drive. The work there includes adding new lanes, widening the sidewalks, installing signals for pedestrian crossing, new street lighting, and of course, landscaping. This project, as well as the adjacent renovation of the Diamond Bar Golf Course, has made the intersection a bit challenging, I must admit. But the inconvenience will be worth it in the long run. Because in addition to improving both the intersection and the golf course, these projects will advance an even bigger and more exciting project, which is, of course, the very important State Route 5760 Confluence Project. I call it the 5760 Freeway Fix. The engineering design for the mainline improvements has now been completed, which means that as soon as the intersection and the golf course work are wrapped up early next year, construction on phase 3 of the Freeway Fix will get underway. Those of you who have been following this project know just how important that it is that we see this project to completion. For years, the 2.5-mile-long segment where the 60 freeway and the 57 merged together, well, that has ranked among the top 10 most congested truck bottleneck in the nation. And according to the California Highway Patrol, it's also the second worst truck-involved accident location in Southern California. Over the years, the Confluence Project has received significant support from numerous legislators and lawmakers, as well as funding from various local, state, and federal sources, including the very competitive federal grant programs that select programs and projects based upon their national and regional significance. I'm so excited to tell you, we got the money. And that's why in just a few months, the project will be starting construction. In this phase, the bulk of the improvements will take place on the freeway main line, as well as at or near the off-ramps. The planned work includes construction of a new off-ramp lane that will take you from the 60 freeway going eastbound directly to the Grand Avenue off-ramp. Another work is the reconstruction of a dedicated on-ramp to get onto the 60 freeway from Grand Avenue as you're going eastbound. We're trying to get rid of the merging action, you see. And we'll be widening the Grand Avenue and construction of a new bridge overcrossing. When completed, these improvements will significantly reduce traffic weaving in the eastbound direction, which will result in better traffic flow, fewer accidents, and we think it'll save lives as well. If you haven't already, I invite you to visit the project website. There, you'll find the project details, and you'll be able to sign up for periodic updates. Our commitment to prioritizing investments in our transportation network remains strong and steadfast. We pride ourselves on taking an active role in managing traffic flow and, of course, congestion by investing in a variety of tools and technologies that will make our roads safer and more efficient to travel. Take, for instance, the city's adaptive traffic control system. That is linked to our 3 key arterials, Grand Avenue, Golden Springs, and Diamond Bar Boulevard. The system, which, by the way, was paid for by a $1.4 million grant from Metro, is relatively new. It was ready to be rolled out about 2 years ago and to address the high traffic volume. But, we had an unhappy visitor, Mr. and Mrs. COVID-19, and you know that we didn't have much traffic then. Well, as the health restrictions have eased up, traffic is back to normal now. And the system is now fully implemented. And in just this past year, it's been a real game changer. Because unlike traditional systems in which signals are preset and pre-timed, this system uses sensors and algorithms to adapt to real-life traffic conditions. We're talking about accidents, freeway detours, construction projects, incidents that cause traffic to fluctuate. Our new system will take all this data into account and make adjustments accordingly. The system has only been in place for about 2 years, but the benefits are already noticeable. Less congestion, better traffic flow, and faster travel time. There's more. And tonight, I'm excited to announce that just last month, we launched a real-time traffic map on the city's website that uses the data collected by this system. The map will display current travel times and travel speeds at 7 of our busiest intersections. So anyone who lives, works, or travels through the city can plan their trips and avoid unexpected delays. Other tools the city uses to minimize traffic impacts include battery backup systems. They keep our signals operating during power outages, as well as CCTV cameras that transmit a live feed to the city's traffic management center, where our engineers can monitor traffic conditions, detect anomalies, and make real-time adjustments as needed. And to keep everything running efficiently, in the coming months, we'll be replacing many of the battery backup systems and the CCTV equipment that were installed over 10 years ago. We also make it a point to continually invest in the maintenance and repair of our roads to keep them in the best possible condition. Our motto here in Diamond Bar, no potholes. This fiscal year, 40 of the city's 145 miles are or will be undergoing a variety of road treatments, preventive maintenance, or extensive rehabilitation. Hopefully, you've noticed that Golden Springs Drive between Brea Canyon and Lemon Avenue have been totally repaved recently. Also, part of some of these projects, curb ramps will be installed or upgraded to meet current ADA standards. Our ultimate goal is to make sure our transportation network serves everyone, regardless of whether they drive, walk, bike, or take the bus. And speaking about buses, and toward that goal, we are investing in a citywide replacement of all of our bus stop shelters. The current shelters have been in place for more than 20 years and have reached their useful life. The new shelters will have 2 positive effects on our city. First, it'll make the waiting area more comfortable and attractive for bus riders. And second, it'll add to the beautification of our city by reflecting the look and the feel of our streetscape. The project design has been completed, and installation is set to start later this year. And thanks to funding from the Foothill Transit, the first bus stop shelter to get its makeover will be Golden Springs Drive and Calbourne location. Another investment project is the citywide replacement of all street name signs on both residential streets and signalized intersections. Besides making it easier to identify the street names, the new signs will improve the overall appearance of the city and complement our streetscape. The sign replacements are anticipated to start in early 2023. And yes, for anyone interested, the city does plan to sell the existing street signs after they're taken down. And the money from the sales will be going back to the general fund, so that's something fun to do. As soon as the details are worked out, we will share them across all of our communication channels, including our website, newsletter, and socials. Now, turning to our recreation systems, we're investing in our parks, trails, and community facilities. I think I speak for so many of us in saying that these places are essential to our sense of community and our sense of well-being. We can count on them to be there when we need them. Everything from places to escape and relax, to meditate, to socialize, or to create new memories. The Diamond Bar Center, here we are, is just a prime example of that. Often referred to as our crown jewel, our Diamond Bar Center is extremely versatile. Many of our senior clubs meet here. Many of our recreation classes are taught here. And many of us have celebrated a special occasion right here in this room. And it's hard to believe, but next December will mark 20 years since this facility opened to the public. But as we all know, it takes a lot of money to look good. So the Diamond Bar is currently getting some much-needed TLC. Among the repairs taking place here are slope repair to mitigate the slab settlement issues just outside of this building, an upgrading lighting system to this ballroom, a new main entry door, and interior doors that meet the latest accessory compliance requirements, and a new, more energy-efficient HVAC system for better airflow and better air quality. And just outside of the Diamond Bar Center, one of the nearby trails is also slated for improvement. The 1.3-mile Canyon Loop Trail, located in the central portion of Summit Ridge Park Trail System, is set to get some much-needed attention. In addition to widening the trail, the improvement project will include several retaining walls and drainage crossings at erosion-prone locations, sets of stairs with handrails for improved access and safety, lodgepole fencing in certain areas to clearly mark the trail, rest areas at 2 beautiful viewpoints with a shade structure, trash bin, and benches, and interpretive signs depicting the area's wildlife and plant habitat. And there's more. Improvements are also in store at 2 of our most popular parks. Pantera Park is scheduled to have its tennis and basketball courts resurfaced and its lighting system retrofitted with LED fixtures. And at Maple Hill Park, the plan is to replace the aging playground and restroom facility and complete a series of ADA upgrade. But beyond our roads and our parks, we also continue to make investments in another equally important area. That's public safety. This fiscal year, nearly $7.8 million of our general fund is allocated to public safety. This represents 23% of our spending plan. Yes, it's expensive, but what we get in return makes it a worthwhile investment. We get public safety programs tailored to our needs, including specialized patrols to target burglaries and the latest crime trends, crossing guards at key intersections near schools to help our students safely cross the street, enhanced fire protection, brush clearance, and emergency medical services, and preparation and training to keep the city ready to respond to a wide variety of emergencies and disasters. All things that contribute to keeping Diamond Bar among the safest cities in the region. Let's take a moment to acknowledge and thank the leadership and personnel of our sheriffs and fire department. Thank you for everything that you do, day in and day out, to keep us and our property safe. If any of you, either here or watching from home, are interested in public safety statistics, I encourage you to check out the city's open data sets. Statistics for both the current year and the years prior are available on the city's website. And now, let's turn our focus to another significant and exciting investment, the Diamond Bar Town Center Specific Plan. You may have heard it being referred to as the Downtown Diamond Bar Project. It's a fact, we have great shops and restaurants in town, but we lack an established Diamond Bar area like the ones in surrounding cities. So a few years ago, during the general plan update process, the topic of establishing a downtown Diamond Bar came up repeatedly. After some deliberation, it was decided that this downtown should be located along Diamond Bar Boulevard between the 60 Freeway and Golden Springs Drive. As an initial step, the city last year engaged the local chapter of the Urban Land Institute to undertake a technical assistance panel to study the area. This panel of experts concluded that there was great potential for a transformative makeover of this area and offered planning, land use, finance, and design recommendations. Just this past year, the City Council started the next major step and retained the highly regarded architectural and planning firm of Torti Gallis and Partners. They specialize in designing walkable communities. Torti Gallis will be preparing a specific plan to refine the community's vision and create a blueprint that will ultimately bring the community's dream of a downtown Diamond Bar to fruition. This initial investment to lay the groundwork will pay dividends for years to come. Things are not going to happen overnight, but in the words of Gandhi, the future depends on what we do today. Several community workshops have already occurred where the design team has received some great feedback. Maybe you were one of those. You were in one of those meetings. But rather than talk more about Diamond Bar's future downtown, we're going to watch a video that explains the plan.
The city is pursuing an important and exciting endeavor, the creation of Diamond Bar's first town center specific plan. A town center or downtown is something Diamond Bar residents have long desired and something that was identified as a key goal in the 2040 Diamond Bar General Plan update and studied in 2021 by the Los Angeles chapter of the Urban Land Institute.
Early in the process, residents expressed a desire to establish a downtown in Diamond Bar, or what we're calling a town center for the purposes of our current work, to really create a place, a vibrant community center where folks can find a walkable environment to eat, to shop, and to have new urban living opportunities without having to develop our diminishing open spaces. So this creates an infill development opportunity that can also enliven the experience of having a downtown.
Of course, there's a lot of great stores and restaurants in town, a variety of both mom and pop owned establishments and national chains. But a downtown is more than that. A downtown is the heart of a city. It creates a sense of place and pride for residents, a place to enjoy a leisurely stroll, to meet up with friends, and entertain out-of-town friends and family.
My initial reaction is I've been waiting for this for a long time. I felt like Diamond Bar is always such a beautiful place and the people here are really wonderful, so it's about time that we had something in this town that encouraged people to come and see that beauty too.
I really like what I see. More of a main street, more of a place you can gather with the family, have a good time, entertainment. I'm hoping walking, biking, but keep the greenery kind of thing. I like that. We like to be more doing things at Diamond Bar here versus going out. So I think it's great for the city, brings in some taxes, revenue, and it's a good place for family, hopefully, right, to gather and do things, right, other than going outside of Diamond Bar.
A downtown for Diamond Bar means not having to look outside of the city for that one-stop destination that offers opportunities for dining, shopping, and entertainment. It means creating a safe and pleasant environment that encourages walking, biking, gathering, and socializing. A place with spaces conducive to such things such as public arts, farmers markets, and family-friendly live performances. And a place to support much-needed housing for residents of all incomes and needs. Young families just starting out, college graduates wishing to return to their hometown, and empty nesters adapting to a new chapter in their life.
I also think about the stage that my young adult children are in, where they're preparing and looking into the opportunity of home ownership, which we know is a market that's really challenging right now. But the thought of that being an opportunity for them is exciting to me. It makes it a realistic possibility. And for them to be able to stay in a city that they've grown up in and that they've experienced their life in, that they love as well, to me, I just feel like that's just an added benefit. And that they can honestly have their own address but still be neighbors, that's a big plus for those of us that are experiencing that stage of life with our young adult kids.
We're definitely excited to have some place for our children to congregate. We have a 2-year-old and a 3-month-old. And knowing that most of the families here have shared with us that their children have to go to nearby communities to have fun, it's scary as a parent to think that your children will go elsewhere. There's a sense of security knowing that they'll have an area within walking distance from our home to gather with friends.
The location being considered for the future Diamond Bar Town Center is the 45-acre commercial district that extends along both sides of Diamond Bar Boulevard between Golden Springs Drive and the 60 freeway overpass, and is intersected by Gentle Springs Lane and Palomino Drive. With spectacular vistas of the San Gabriel Mountains to the north, this area, referred to as the Focus Area, has great potential, but challenges as well, particularly the numerous property owners on site.
The site is about 45 acres, and it's owned by, I don't know, there are 25, I think, or 24 different landowners here, which is a sort of an interesting challenge to the effort. Our goal will be to see how we can start to interconnect those parcels so that we can make more of a networked place, a place that you can move through without simply going on Diamond Bar Boulevard, but one at which you can go in multiple ways, like a traditional downtown, like you might find in downtown Claremont or Monrovia or Pasadena, to name a few in this area. And so we're looking at how we can do that over time in this area, recognizing that this will not be built out in a year. This will be built out in 10 or 20 years, depending on the market.
The task of developing the Town Center specific plan is one that requires expertise and experience in a wide range of fields, which is why the City commissioned Torrey Gallis and Partners, a reputable firm with more than 3 decades experience in crafting specific plans that served as roadmaps for many downtown areas.
We at Torrey Gallis and Partners are leading the effort of actually several consulting teams to design the future for this area. This includes a master plan. It includes a set of design standards and guidelines. It includes a traffic study, landscape design standards, civil engineering or infrastructure planning, and an extensive public outreach process, which this discussion is part of. And it also includes, of course, an EIR, an environmental impact review, which is part of the requirements in California.
Now, several months into the process, much progress has been made toward the creation of this highly anticipated specific plan.
Number one, because the community knows this place way better than we do. And they can identify opportunities, constraints, things that they've observed in their use of this place over the years that will be very impactful for our final plan. Secondly, we want to develop a plan that the community actually looks forward to seeing built. And that's really important. And the only way, we could guess and be lucky, or we could guess wrong. We would prefer not to guess. We would prefer to actually listen to the community, hear what they actually want, and then, as close as we can, develop a plan that accommodates that. So that this plan has buy-in from the moment it goes to the City Council and Planning Commission for approval, but way beyond.
Without a doubt, one of the most exciting aspects of putting together this plan has been the interest and involvement of the community, starting from the first public workshop in July to the multi-day charrette process in August that led to refining the vision and creating the final concept plan for what will become the future Diamond Bar Town Center.
That's the hardest thing that we've had is being able to stay here and with family and doing things. We tend to go out. So I think this is great. I mean, me and my wife are really happy that we're gonna get something, it seems like. So, and being part of it is really great. Being actually getting feedback and putting your inputs, I really love that. So yeah, that's the best part.
Things that strike me about it is that it's incredibly ambitious. This is going to be a big project, and I'm really happy that the city is taking it on. I feel like there's so much opportunity. That's what strikes me as well, the willingness for everybody to come together and really create something that can last and support future generations.
I'm excited for a lot of reasons. I feel like this vision and this plan, this proposed idea, is something that I could certainly get behind, because I feel like what it's going to do is it's going to open up a lot of opportunities, not just for me personally, but I think for posterity, and I think for our children and their children, and the fact that it'll still make our city the nice city that it is, but it's going to just enhance what our city has to offer.
Fueled and inspired by the collective support, enthusiasm, and optimism of everyone involved, the city is excited and looking forward to seeing this process through to fruition. But we need your continued participation. If you haven't already, visit and bookmark the project website at downtownfordb.com. Tell family and friends, and sign up for project updates delivered straight to your mobile device via email or text.
What an exciting time for our city. Wasn't that a great video? Thank you to those who've been following the Town Center specific plan process and contributing your thoughts and ideas. And please continue to stay involved and tell your friends and family. We want to hear from as many residents as possible so that the final plan reflects our collective wants and needs. In closing, I would like to thank my fellow colleagues, Andrew Chow, Stan Liu, Nancy Lyons, and Steve Tai, for all their efforts and support this past year. It really is a pleasure and an honor to work with such great individuals who are able to work together to make Diamond Bar such a wonderful city. To my friends and neighbors, thank you all for attending tonight. Thank you all for your efforts to making a Diamond Bar a great city, the great city that it is. Have a wonderful rest of the evening, and with that, I'll say goodnight. Thank you for coming.